Hoggy, thank you for taking the time to speak to us. I wanted to just reflect on your entire journey with the club, because it's unlikely this is going to happen again anytime soon, that somebody's going to step away after the amount of service that you've given. You were obviously 24 when you came in 2013, and where you are now as a 36-year-old, as a grown man, it's completely different, isn't it? How do you look back on that whole journey?
Yeah, you have to look back some years, don't you? And it does really feel like I came as a boy and I've left as a man. I'm leaving as a man. That's how it felt. That's how it feels when I look back. When I came in, I was probably quite naive and didn't know how much it meant and stuff like that. But then I can look back on things that have happened at the club, the ups and downs and stuff like that, and the emotions that go with it. It makes you realise how great this club is.
How different are you as a bloke in that time? I know you're a little bit older. You've aged quite well, but you
yeah.
have you changed in that time?
I have changed. I've calmed down quite a lot. When I first came, I was a bit hot-headed and lose my temper quite easily. Let's say that. But I've matured. Let's say that.
There's obviously been some amazing memories you've made in that time. I think the 2016-17 season obviously stands out, and that first year in the Premier League as well. Just reflect on how you'll take those memories with you.
Looking back at that 16-17 season, that was life-changing for many people involved. Even for the fans, the people at the club, the staff, the players, everyone. It was a special season. The emotions were something that I've never felt before, especially when Shindy scored that penalty at Wembley. That was like that feeling that I got. If you could bottle that up, you'd earn a few quid off it. Let's say that. But it was, that season was fantastic. The players that we had, that ruthlessness, that togetherness, identity. It was all installed in us, and it was meant to be.
We talked about it this morning, actually, strangely, but a few weeks before that final, a lot of people thought that your career was over.
Yeah.
Bristol City being airlifted away, worried about your neck. To have turned around and come back and played was quite a story.
Yeah, the injury, I always remember it was a pain like I've never felt before, to be honest. When the physios came in and put me in a neck brace and stuff on the pitch, obviously went to hospital, then I got a CT scan and MRI, and I said I broke my neck, and I was thinking, I'm done, finished, season done. Obviously worried about my future, my career. Then literally 6 weeks later, I'm playing head tennis. First session back, David Wagner, we were playing head tennis. I was like, it was meant to be that season.
And then the season that followed as well in the Premier League, you've talked about that Chelsea game and staying up at Stamford Bridge, the run-in that we had at the end of the year, beating Man United at home. There's so many things that were special in that time. Yeah,
it was that group that we had of players, it was going to take some knocking down, do you know what I mean? Like we built that identity and that culture in the dressing room, what David brought and what he introduced into the dressing room was top class. Not as just players, as human beings. And you used to come into work every day like really buzzing for it, ready to take on anything coming your way. But yeah, that season was special, and it'll live with me for the rest of my life.
When you talk to people about that group, they point to Aaron Moy as being one of the best players they've ever seen play for the club. I think yourself included in that. Yeah. But do you think you get enough credit as his midfield partner for giving him that time and place to play? Because you were doing the work next to him and passing him the ball. You know
what will probably give me the most credit for it is Aaron Moy himself. Like he used to say, I used to make it so easy for him, and if anyone would probably give me credit, it would probably be Aaron himself, to be honest.
Are there any other teammates at all that stick out? I know we looked at the statistics. I think you've shared the field at Huddersfield Town the most with Tommy Smith in the time that you've been there.
Tommy in that, particularly that season, was top class. He's the best fullback in the league by a long shot. Another one who's top bloke, great human. Everyone liked to be around Tommy and brought a lot to the team. Schindler's another one. reliable, hard-working. You know, you could look around behind you and he's going to go to war with you. We had so many players like that who you could just look around and you know they were pulling in the same direction as you were. That's what it took and that's what it needed.
You've worn the armband for a long time at the club, but you were formally announced as captain ahead of the 21-22 season. What was that moment like for you? Because you'd obviously been a leader in the dressing room, you'd shown what you were about and the principles that you had, but to have that formalised and to wear that every game, what was that like for you?
It was great, but I knew it was always coming because the lads always looked up to me. Like some of the lads used to call me Skip before I was Skip. So I knew it was coming, so when it wasn't a surprise, so I just took it with both hands and made sure I kept it. It's an absolute honour to captain a club, especially a club like this.
I think one of the highlights of leading the team out will have been at the end of that 21-22 season at Wembley. That's a privilege and an honour that few people get to have. How do you look back on that season? Because it was a fantastic one in hindsight.
That was another one where we were so close, but just didn't happen. Things happened in the game that probably shouldn't have happened, and we deserved to be in the Premier League again that season. But to captain such a great bunch of lads and lead them out at Wembley was an honour and something that I'm very proud of doing. You've
built, speaking about it, a pretty decent legacy at this football club. There's a mural 2 minutes up the road with you, a couple of pictures on the view, which I know meant to you, a lot to you at the time. You took your family to see it and everything. How much does it mean to you, the memories that you'll share forever with this football club that nobody can take away from you?
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more memories that pop up in my head. Like when people ask me off the cuff, what's your best memory and stuff, I would probably go back to the Wembley one and the Chelsea and stuff like that. But the more I actually think about it, there's other bits that pop up and things that people don't see, like the year that Wagner came, the first thing, pre-season, we went to Sweden on a survival camp thing, and that was the start. That was the ingredients of making something that he knew was going to work. And I always remember the quote of the guy who, there was 2 reps that went with us, and I think we just managed relegation, to stay above the relegation, and the lads were like, didn't know what was going to go and happen, new manager coming in, new players. And the guy said, every team that does this always has a successful season, so they either win a cup, get promotion, win the league or something like that. And we looked and we were laughing, thinking, we just survived relegation, we've got no chance. And it just built that machine that we were, and we managed it.
I wasn't going to bring that trip up because there's a lot of you haven't spoken about too much detail about the things you had to do there, but the overriding feedback that people had is a lot of the lads struggled and it was testing, but you seem to be in your element out on your own.
Yeah, that was a bit of me. That was a bit of me. That was survival at its best. Yeah, we had to look after yourself, look after your teammates, togetherness. Like I said, it did build a machine, and it built that love for each other, and that's we took it all season. When things got tough, I always remember we broke one of the oars that we used to row with, and that came with us every game. Everyone signed it, and it came every game with us, home and away. When it got tough, we always looked at that, and it was always with us.
They're the type of things that people won't see. That, like you say, those are the memories that when you're fishing, when you're at your lake, when you got a bit of time to yourself in the summer to come, they're probably the memories that are going to pop up the most. Yeah,
it's like when you look back at it, when we were doing it, you're like, what are we doing? This is never going to help us. There was no footballs, there was no football pitches, nothing. We had a canoe, a tent, a sleeping bag, and a spare set of clothes. No phones, nothing, no social media. And that was the start.
We've touched on it a couple of times, but it'll be your 410th game for the club. It's not a small number. I think that puts you 6th all time in the club rankings. Before we've done this interview, you've just been chatting to Andy Booth, who's a couple ahead of you, and obviously a legend in his own right, but to join that class of person, the type of person that people look back with that sort of fondness, that's no small achievement.
It's not. It's something that I never really thought about either until he's mentioned it to me. Like the sixth person, the highest appearances in the club's history is. It's quite crazy when you look at it like that. But it's a fantastic achievement, personally.
I wanted to speak to you a bit about your family as well, away from the pitch. I know you've treated the club like family, and being here and the people behind the scenes at Canalside mean a lot to you, and the relationships you've built there. But going home to your girls, to your wife, to your son, your mum, this club's become theirs as well.
It has, yeah. It's they've been everything. So it was.
I think you had both your daughters when you'd come, but JJ hadn't arrived yet. You weren't married yet, so it's been a journey for them as well.
A lot's happened. It has a lot's happened. JJ's a terrier. That's all he's known. Do you know what I mean? So it's having him on my side when I go home just takes everything away from me. This side of it, when I think it's massive for footballers to, when you do get home, to have a separate life from a footballer's life. So it's they've played a massive part in my career, and they always tell me how proud they are of me. So it's special.
I'm sure they are proud of you, mate. And another one that's definitely proud of you is your mum as well. And many people won't know this, but you travel into training most days with your mum. She's driven you in from Borough because you've been commuting, and it's quite a special thing because she's built her own relationships and got to know people her own way at Canalside in that time as well.
She has. She's just as popular at Canalside as I am, to be fair.
She might be more popular.
Yeah, she probably is. Yeah. She's played a massive part as well, my mum, in my career. Not just here, but everywhere. She's always supported me. #1 fan and all that. So yeah, she's me taxi. She calls herself, but she's there every morning, every training morning. She'll be sat outside on my drive waiting for me, ready to go. So yeah, it's been great to have her on this journey with me.
I know there's a few people I know that you've wanted to thank, and you have done your own time, but the supporters and the relationship they've had with you, they sing your name non-stop. There's a certain set of players that still get their name sung regardless if they're here or not. I imagine you're going to join that. Yeah. Just talk on what they've been like over the last 12 years with you.
The relationship between me and the fans have been top class. I think they can see my passion for the club, and every time I put the shirt on, they know I give 100%, and I think that's all they want. If you give them that, then they'll have you back. So I can't thank the fans enough from the support from day one. It's they've been amazing. I don't know what to say, to be honest, because everything we do it for them. We want to make them proud and give them something to sing about, get behind the team and stuff like that. But they've always had my back from day one, and I can't thank them enough.
I'm sure that a player like yourself, a figure like yourself at the football club, our paths will cross again. But when you're gonna, sit down when you're a little bit older, when a few more years have passed, and you think about these playing days, because you'll obviously have another life away from the pitch. What's going to stand out to you the most? What's going to be the thing that you smile about the most?
I've mentioned it, that feeling when Shindy scored that penalty. That doesn't happen often in life, but I think that was the #1 thing that really changed my life. So that would be my best ever moment in football.
Skipper, thank you for speaking to us. Thank you for the last 12 years, the last 410 games. I think I speak on behalf of the supporters and definitely the staff here that it's meant a lot to work with you and get to know you and see what you've given the club. So you should be really proud of everything, and thank you very much for your time here.
No, thank you. It's been a pleasure.